David, thank you. Neenah Middle School students will return to in-person classes tomorrow with an increased police presence on school grounds. The change coming after a student was taken into custody for making what police are calling terrorist threats. In a First Alert update, Elise Noy joins us in studio with more on the district's response. Elise?
Chris, leaders with the Neenah Joint School District say they were alerted Tuesday evening about a potential threat pertaining to a small group of students at Neenah Middle School. Now, out of caution, the school moved to digital learning Wednesday today while the Neenah Police Department investigated. Police now say the threats were not meant to harm anyone and there is no ongoing threat to students or the public. Now that a suspect is in custody, Superintendent Steve Harrison says students will return to the building Thursday and additional officers will be on campus.
Our school counselors will be available for students who would like to speak to someone about these events. Additionally, all of our regular safety protocols remain in place.
Now, police say the suspect was taken into custody less than 15 hours after investigators first learned about the threats, and they are asking prosecutors to criminally charge the student with terrorist threats. Additionally, officials determined the threat was not connected to social media posts from earlier in the week that referenced hacked student accounts, which police say were not credible. Chris.